just have to take advantage of on the lake. Today is one of those days. It's about 80 degrees. No wind at all. No waves at all. I think the only thing you're seeing here is wake from other boats and jet skis. I'm having a little issue with the dinghy shaking at kind of low to mid RPM. So got the carb cleaner and trying to run it. A lot of what we've been doing has been running just in the harbor at low speeds. So it really hasn't gotten a workout. So today is one of those days that got it out, I'm working it out. Running much better now. Even it'll still get a little shake. See, that's the little shake right there. Where it's kind of losing a little power, but it's better. I'm getting it there. Not perfect, but it's better. I did a little carb adjusting and sprayed some more cleaner in there. Probably should take that carb out. The nice thing about these Yamahas is it takes about 45 seconds to take the carburetor out. As opposed to my old Evinrude that took 45 minutes. But it's running well enough for now, well enough for putzing around the marina. Well, it didn't work. It was running pretty well, not perfect, but it was running fairly well when I got back from that ride. Then a couple hours later, I decided let's take it for another ride. And it still kind of ran like crap. So I'm going to pull this carburetor out. I'm going to check it. I'm going to clean it and see what's going on. So let's see what's happening with this carburetor. So pretty easy. As you can see, I have the GoPro on my head, which is very sexy because from that camera, you're not going to be able to see what you can see from this camera. So the one thing I love about this motor is it's super easy to do any of this, right? So there are some clips here. Okay, choke clip is off. This is for throttle. I don't know, I'm not a carb guy, but there's some clips here that you got to take off. Okay, and then on this side, see right here, this is where the fuel flows in. All right, got our pliers. Pull this little fuel hose off. Easy, whoa. That's our problem. Too much pressure in the fuel tank. So it spurted quite a bit of fuel out there. Sorry, environment. I really do apologize. 10 millimeter. These two bolts come out. Slide this off carefully. And there's our carburetor. It's the beauty of Yamahas, man. They just come out so easy. Okay, let's go take a look at it inside. Okay, we're just on the ground here. This is a container from utensils. If I wasn't out of gloves, I would be wearing gloves right now because I have fuel all over. So here's the basics of the carburetor. If you don't know that much about carburetors, this is the float bowl. Fuel comes in here and it sits in here. This is the float. This goes up and down. When there's enough fuel, this goes up and it stops more fuel from coming in. As it goes down, it allows more fuel to come into this float bowl. And then the carburetor pulls the fuel from here, from this float bowl, and sends it into the engine. This is your choke, right? So when you set your choke, it actually does this, and it closes it off because you want more fuel than air. So you can see there's just a very small little hole. But when you've started it, you can open the choke fully, and then it allows air to go fully through. Well, it looks like there's some grime in here. And then this is your throttle. So you can see there's always a little bit so that when you're at idle, you can get a little bit of air in there. And then as you open the throttle, it allows more air. And of course, that then also allows more fuel to go in. We're just making sure that all of this is clean especially these little teeny tiny jets. So let's take a look at this guy. You see the light through there? Should be able to see light through there. I see light through there. It looks pretty good. I'd have a bit of a clog, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out. I'm going to spray a little carb cleaner. So I think what we did there is we did actually open it up a little bit. I think it was a little bit blocked up. So that's good. Let's see what we have under here. Now, I do not have a carburetor rebuild kit. The only thing I'm doing here is just cleaning up. I kind of feel like when I take these last screws off, there's going to be a spring snake that's going to jump out at me. Yeah, so that's kind of the inner workings, what we're looking at there. This guy controls our idle, I believe. All right, so we start with him all the way in. See how it just kind of seats in that little spot. And then when we back it off, that allows the fuel to come in from that spot and come into here and allows fuel to get to it. So I forget, I looked it up, I tried looking it up as to how far you're supposed to back this out. But essentially what you're doing is, while it's idling, you can adjust this screw to make it idle better or worse. And as it's idling faster, then you can use this screw to adjust how fast it idles. So this is adjusting, this screw right here is adjusting your mixture, your air and fuel mixture. So I'm going to start with 1, 2 full turns out. That's what I'm going to start with as I start this back up again. So overall, looks pretty clean in here. Just going to hit a couple places with some of the carb cleaner. Yamaha recommends that you have a 100-to-1 fuel to oil ratio because a 2-stroke requires oil to be mixed in with the fuel. I probably run it at like 50 or 64-to-1. Need to just follow the recommendations from Yamaha because, and by running more oil than I need to, I think I'm causing this problem with this getting a little too gummed up. So let's put this all back together and see how it runs. And let's give it a shot. I usually don't give any choke when it's this warm. There we go. All right, so we're idling. Seems to be idling okay. So now we're going to adjust this little guy. I'm going to bring it out half a turn, see if it brings the revs up. I think that's probably its happiest spot right there. So we've got our idle screw. I think it's set pretty well. Let's see what happens if we back it off half. I think we're pretty much at the base right there. Go back to our original position. Let's go up a little bit. There you go. So that brought it up ever so slightly on idle. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. So we put it in gear. Real nice and slow. You can see it's still definitely shaking. So let's maybe bring it up a tiny bit more. There's a quarter turn. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's see what happens if we rev it up and let it come back down to idle. Yep, comes right back to that spot. So now we also want to double check that this is moving at the exact same time as the rest of this. So as I put my hand on the throttle, and I will do any sort of wiggling, I want to make sure that, see how this is moving, but this isn't. So I've loosened that screw. that piece down a little bit. Now it seems like they're both moving right at the same time. So that's nothing right there. You can see this starts to move ever so slightly, and then this will move. Well, the GoPro didn't make it. And I'm sorry about the sunglasses, but at least I'm not wearing the stupid hat from yesterday, right? So already I feel like it's idling a little better. Yeah, already that's a world of difference. You're still getting a little bit of shake. It's still got the shake, but it's nowhere near as bad. Maybe I'm gonna have to leave this up to you guys. How do I solve this issue? It's definitely running better. Right there, this is kind of the speed that we generally run around the marina, and it seems to be doing all right. You can see it still has that little bit of shake. I think what I'll have to do next is pull those spark plugs out, see if they're clean. Let's go do that. Okay, plug one. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's got a little deposit on there. So let's take that out and clean it. Let's grab the other one as well. Yeah, same with this one. It's got a little on it, but I don't think they look too bad. I'm gonna clean them up. I'll be right back. Okay, I've cleaned them up and made sure that the gap was accurate. It was maybe a tiny bit bigger. So the gap is the distance between the little pointy thing and the little curvy thing. Whose names I know, but totally escapes me right now. But that's supposed to be, there's a gapping tool that you can use to check that, and they were pretty close. I gapped them down ever so slightly, but they're perfect now, according to my tool. Okay, I think it sounds a little better, but maybe I'm hypersensitive. Let's kind of roll it up a little bit. So it seems like it's running a little bit better. This is kind of that speed that we roll at. Still got the shake, but it's not as pronounced. Safety first. It's a little bit rough out here for the dinghy. Not as nice as it was yesterday. It's a little rough. Seems to be running okay. So we're gonna go back into safety. I also don't want to lose my phone. Well, I think I fixed it. I mean, I don't know. I thought I fixed it yesterday. Now that it's fully warmed up, you can hear it's at low idle, it's doing great. Kind of at middle idle, doing great. High idle, sounds good. This is kind of where we cruise at. Still got a little bit of a shake, but it's not bad. So, that sun is bright. Sorry, I gotta keep the sunglasses on, everybody. But the dinghy's running better. Happy about that. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. Thank you very much. See you next time.